Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Sandhamang Unirajase Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Dhammasavana kaalo ayang bhadanta Dhammasavana kaalo ayang bhadanta Dhammasavana kaalo ayang bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa yo have inamadaya chujjamano palayati nahite inamatiti tang janya vasalo iti Yove kinchikka kamyata pantasmin vajatang janang hantva kinchikka madeti tang janya vasalo iti ti. Dear friends in Dhamma, today is Monday, so I am delivering a Dhamma talk every Monday evening at Ottawa Theravada Buddhist Vihara. So it is very pleasurable moment to sharing Dhamma sermons, sharing Dhamma knowledge with you. So actually today Dhamma sermon is connection between last Dhamma sermon that I have conducted with regarding of the sutta called Vasala, about Vasala Sutta, outcasting discourse. The Buddha was delivered this Dhamma sermon to Aggika Bharadwaja recluse. There was a very famous Brahmin called Aggika Bharadwaja at the period of Buddha, at the period of Buddha's time. So that Brahmin was heard this sutta by delivered by Buddha. So this sutta indicate us there are a lot of outcasting things, the lot of unmeritorious things, misbehavioral things. The Buddha was explained in this sutta how can we recognize as their behavioral things outcast, right? So how can we recognize bad persons? How can we recognize misbehavioral, abnormal persons, right? So while we are living in this society, we have to face a lot of peoples. We have to live with some other peoples, like our family members and also our uh, relations and also friends, right? So new persons, newcomers, new friends, we have to deal with them. We have to discuss with them. We have to live with them. So while we are living in this society with other persons, we have to recognize who are the good person that we can associate with them. So we have to at the very first time, we have to understand what types of behaviors that they have. Otherwise, associating with like those misbehavioral persons would be harmful for our lives actually. So that's why this Buddhist philosophy is indicating there are so many ways. There are so many ways the Buddha was explained for the society. That's why this is not recognized as a religion. This is recognized as a philosophy. There are so many ways, right? So the Buddha focused on mainly mind, not body, right? But there are two things the Buddha explained about in metempsychosis when explaining metempsychosis in deep Dhamma. He explained about two things. The first one is nama and then rupa, mind and body interaction, right? But mainly the Buddhism is indicating about mind, about consciousness. We have to understand our mind and also others. So it is not easy thing to understand others' mind actually, because we cannot see them. We cannot, without seeing, we cannot understand the proper things. That's why we can measure, we can investigate what types of behaviors if they have. Going through this way, we can understand others' mind, others' intentions, others' thinking pattern. So this sutta, the name Vasala Sutta, is very helpful to understand others' behavioral situation and also others' mental factors, like how they are thinking, how they are acting, right? So who are the person that we have to live with them, right? Who are the good people that we can associate with them. So with learning these factors, with learning this Vasala Sutta, we can gain a lot of knowledge about social behaviors, social social about social living beings, right? So I have explained at the beginning of Dhamma sermon two stanzas. The first one is going to be described in Pali. Yohave inamadhaya chujjamano palayati nahite inamattiti tanjanya vasalo iti. When Buddha described 5 precepts, there is one precept called Musavada Veramani, Adinnadana Veramani. Not Musavada, but Adinnadana Veramani, Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. So we have to protect others' thing, right? And also the explaining about other precept called Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang. Right? So we have to always tell truth for others, because everybody likes to hear truth, right? But the society is not full of truthfulness. That's why we have to practice all the way with saying truthful words. That belongs to practicing morality, sila, right? Practicing sila, the one part is protecting our words, our expressions. If we are using not liable words, that's not proper way to practice morality. If we want to practice morality, so that we have to all the way tell truth, right? The truthfulness is very important factor in accordance with Buddhist teaching. In this stanza said that, like, normally when we are living in the society, we need some money to buy our amenities, right? To buy foods and water, and also we have to pay electricity bills, and also we have to pay phone bills, right? And mortgage, some other expenses. We have to earn money. Sometimes we have to borrow money from other person, or it would be bank, right? The thing is, Buddha said that in this stanza, the people who get money from bank or other person for borrowing, I mean, after borrowing money, if they are saying about that borrowing money was not happen, like example, the person who are borrowing money from bank, after having borrowed money from the bank, they said, I never borrowed that money. I didn't borrow money, right? Like that way. That is not good thing. That's not good behavior in accordance with Buddhism. Those types of persons, those types of people are belonging to the outcast, the basket we can call. There are 2 baskets, right? The first one is outcast, the second one is good persons, right? So someone who borrowing money from others, or banking, or some other places, or from other company, after having borrowed money, if they are saying, I didn't get money from that particular company or that particular person, those those who are outcast, we have to recognize them as an outcast. That's the meaning of this stanza. Yo have inamadaya. Ina mean borrowing, right? That's the Pali word for borrowing. Ina. Yo have inamadaya chujjamano palayati. Nahite inamadaya tang janya vasalovati. Vasala mean outcast, right? Doing misbehavioral thing, doing irritable things, right? That's the meaning of vasala, insufficient things, right? So that's not suitable for human beings. And then the next stanza is describing in Vasala Sutta how can we recognize outcast persons in this society. So the Buddha said that yo have kinchik kamyata pantasming vajatang jana hantva kinchik madeti tang janya vasalo iti. So the meaning of that stanza is, he indeed desires of taking something on the road frequented by people, having killed, takes whatever, know him as an outcast. Yove kinchik kamyata pantasming vajatang jana hantva kinchik madeti tangjanya vasaloviti. The 2,500 years ago, the Buddha recognized who are the people we do not, we never ever associate with them, who are the person belongs to outcast, right? In this stanza, the Buddha said that about robbers. Simply we can say robbers, right? So some peoples are taking others' properties, not only taking their properties, but also their life. After killing people, they are taking others' substances. That's not good thing. The Buddha said that sukha kamani bhutani. We have to practice loving kindness about thinking others' comfortable life also, right? Everybody likes to live with comfortable life, with comfortable stuff, with comfortable houses, right? Everybody wants to utilities for their life. That is what, as a good human, we have to think about others' life. We have to think about others' properties. We have to think about others' happiness. That is what the Buddha said. As a Buddhist people, we have to cultivate compassionate. We have to cultivate loving kindness. We have to practice kindfulness inside of our mind. As those mental status, those types of mental intentions are good human qualities. That's why we have to try to practice like those ideas, like those positive mental factors, right? As a human beings. The Buddha said, the very important, valuable thing is in this world is human life. Dullabo manussa patilabo. In Dhammapada, that is short Dhamma book, there are so many Dhamma stanzas included that little book. One of the stanza said that Dullabo manussa patilabo. Gaining this human life is very rare thing. We have to cultivate good intentions, good ideas. You know, in Pali word for intention is chetasika. We have to cultivate moral insight ideas. We have to develop our behaviors with what Buddha was said. According to Buddha's teaching, we have to talk our words with full of awareness. Otherwise, it would be harmful for others' mind. We have to all the way keep awareness about what we are going to say, what we are going to do, what we are going to think. The first thing is thinking, and then talking, and then acting. Chitta, Vacha, Mana. Those three things we have to all the way act with mindfully. So the practicing mindfulness with those with using of those three faculties is usable for the society to build up happiness and loving kindness and compassionate human beings. So there are so many peoples that we can see in the society when we are hearing news and or when we are going somewhere else, you know, like cities, among cities, and also some other places, we can see, we can hear the people are killing others. Some peoples are killing others for others' properties. That is what the Buddha explained about that mental factor. If somebody has greediness in their mind, they are always try to harmful others' property or others' substances because of lack of Dhamma knowledge, because of lack of happiness, right? That types of mental desire is harmful for themselves and also others, right? So we have to protect others' life. The life is very important, rare thing, especially human life, human beings' life, right? So Buddha said that if you heard about, if you see somebody is killed others for to take properties, you have to recognize them as an outcast, right? That's the meaning of the yo ve kinchik kammeta pantasming vajatang janang hantwa kinchik madeti tang janya vasalo iti. So that's the sixth stanza of Vasala Sutta. So actually today Dhamma sermon is the second part of explaining about Vasala Sutta. I have explained already last Monday Dhamma sermon, the first 4 stanzas in this Vasala Sutta, and then today I am explaining other 4 stanzas, right? It means 5th one and 6th one and then 7th one and then 8th one. Those 4 stanzas are explaining today Dhamma sermon with brief introduction, right? So the 7th stanza is explaining about yo atta hetu para hetu dhana hetu cha yo naro sankiputto musa bhruti tang janya vasalo iti. So I want to tell again that stanza. Yo atta hetu para hetu dhana hetu cha yo naro sankiputto musa bhruti tang janya vasalo iti. So what a very meaningful things included to this stanza. So I would say in this Dhamma sermon, in this Dhamma stanza is explaining about the outcast who are going to others' acquisition, who are going to grasp others' acquisitions, others' acquisition of wealth, right? So that person we are calling as an outcast. So we can see what's the meaning of this Dhamma stanza is, who for one's gain or the gain of others or for the acquisition of wealth, that man, when called to bear witness, speaks untruth. Know him as an outcast, right? So if like we can briefly explain this Dhamma stanza. If someone who want to others' wealth, others' properties, sometimes the people are saying lie, right? So unliable words, right? Like pretending words, right? So those types of people we have to recognize as a outcast. We can see like these people in the society, right? So how can we understand people with investigating of others' expressions, others' words, and others' body language, right? We have to investigate others' body language. We have to give full of awareness for others' expressions, right? What they are talking with us, what they are talking with others, right? So we have to give our eyes for them. We have to give full of our ears for others, right? With giving our ears for others, if we have enough wisdom, if we have enough knowledge, we can understand what types of people we are living with in the society. The Buddha said that some people are cheating others. Some people are cheating words, are talking with others, right? Like simply we can say the people are misleading others for their comfortable life, right? So those types of people we have to understand as a outcast, right? What a very important Dhamma sermon is this Vasala Sutta, right? We can understand who are the real human being is, right? So the human beings are not only real human beings as their outside behaviors, right? You know, one of the very famous philosopher, he said that the human beings are always like doing drama, right? They are acting their own characters, right? Each and every person has various characters, right? But we have to direct them. We have to investigate them as a producer, right? As a director, right? We have to control our mind as a director. We have to control our mind as a producer, right? That is what the very practical thing with learning of this sutta, this Vasala Sutta, right? So this Vasala Sutta is explaining about how can we understand, how can we recognize others' behavior, right? Others, good persons in the society, right? What a very important discourses that Buddha said for understanding of Agika Bharatwaja, right? So if we are blaming others, we have to choose right person. Otherwise, we have to get bad result, right? Because of saying that, the Agika Bharadwaja Brahmin was blamed to wise person, right? After blaming to the Buddha, he was listened very useful advices from the wise person. That's very famous quote. If you are blaming others, you have to choose right person, right? The next stanza is Yo matarang wa pitarang wa jinnakang gata yobbanang Pahu santo nabharati tang janya vasalo iti. This very famous stanza among Buddhists. So, without nourishing our parents, without protecting our parents, is not good thing to gain a lot of comfortable life. Like I would explain that somebody has a lot of money, somebody has a lot of, if somebody has a lot of properties, but they are not nourishing their parents, but they are not protecting their parents, right? The Buddha said that you have to recognize those people as outcast. There are so many people are not nourishing, not protecting their parents actually. That is why there are so many elder homes that we can see throughout the world, right? So as a human being, we have to protect our parents. Like example, you know, when any types of animal, when they are just after born into this world, animal can be able to walk and little bit eat, right? So after 1-2 years as living with their parents, they are surviving by themselves, right? They are finding their foods, they are um, living with their own way. But big difference between animals and human beings. So the human beings are protecting their children, right? Like they are giving education for their children, they are giving foods and everything for their children, right? But why so many people after eldering, after getting old age, why they are not going to protect, nourish their parents, right? The Buddha said that yo matarangwa pitarangwa jinnakang gata yobbanang. After getting old age, parents, the children have to nourish their parents. Otherwise, some person who are not nourishing their parents, we have to recognize them as a outcast. That is the Buddha's explanation about understanding about outcast, right? The Buddha gave us good rules, good regulations, good path. The Buddha already showed us what is the good path is, what's the good way is, right? We can understand, we can recognize outcast, mentioning these and measuring, investigating these types of regulations with regarding of their behaviors and expressions and also thinking patterns. We have to investigate with using of these regulations with others' life, right? So that is what I wanted to explain today Dhamma sermon. So I have actually discussed about there are 4 stanzas in accordance with this Vasala Sutta. This is very important sutta, the described by Buddha. at the Jetavana temple to Agika Bharadwaja Brahmin, right? The Buddhism is not for that particular time. That is that for the contemporary society, right? All the society, right? The Buddhism is not for the past. That's not for the future, right? There's also any types of any contemporary society, right? That's what meaning simply say present moment, right? We can practice Buddhism at the present stage, right? At the today, right? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right? It's very important philosophy that the Buddha was said for the to increase knowledge and to enhance wisdom for the human, right? Only human beings. The Buddha addressed to human mind, right? The Buddha addressed to human consciousness, right? That's what this Buddhism is, not for the foolish, not for the uh, bad people, right? This is for the good, wise persons, right? So to have gained knowledge about 4 stanzas in accordance with this Vasala Sutta, with hearing of today Dhamma sermon. Actually, this is very pleasurable moment with sharing Dhamma knowledge with you. So I'm going to finish today Dhamma talk after sharing all the merits to heavenly beings. May heavenly beings sharing these all the merits, may they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thank you so much for hearing today Dhamma talk. Akasattha cha Bhummattha Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Loka Sasanang Chirang Rakkantu Desanang Chirang Rakkantu Mang Paranti Abhivadana Silissa Niccang Vaddhapachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much for hearing today Dhamma talk.